one of the big things that we teach is, okay, what can I control and what can I not control? And this is in the form of the three businesses. There are three businesses in life: your business, other people's business, and God's business. Now, your business is everything that you think, feel, do, and create. And you have full control over this. And what you think will become how you feel. How you feel will become what you do. And what you do will become the environment you create. Perfect example of this. If I'm thinking negative thoughts towards my wife, not that I ever would, I start to
Never.
have negative feelings. Negative feelings lead to doing not so nice things that create a not so nice environment. And then I'm sleeping on the couch. But I can control how I think. I can control how I feel. The coolest story I saw about this was actually a Holocaust survivor who actually came out the other side and had actually an incredible mindset and was really happy and was forgiving. And I was like, what on earth? So they interviewed him. And one of the things he said they could take away everything, but they couldn't take away what I thought about. They couldn't
Yeah.
take the way I felt. And I chose to think about positive things. And I chose to think about what I could focus and control in my environment. And I was like, wow,
It's powerful.
that's a tough dude. Now, there are things outside your control, like other people's business.
So other people's business is what they think, do, feel, and create. And you have no control here. And I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. You do not control how your spouse feels.
Mm-mm.
They do. What you have here is influence. And that influence often flows from what you do and the environment that you create in your marriage. So when you focus on your business and making sure that how you think, how you feel, and how you show up is the best version of you, you will be able to influence your spouse to do the same thing. And oftentimes, if you do the opposite and you give less than your best in your marriage, to put it delicately, then you can influence an environment or you can create an environment that influences your spouse to do the same thing.
That was that negative thinking I started.
Mhm. But ultimately, you have no control over what they do or how they feel or what they think or what they create.
Perfect example of this. We explained it to a lady, and she was just like, oh, I found where all my anxiety comes from. I was like, ooh, tell me where. And she said, I'm constantly asking my husband, do you feel loved by me? Do you feel my love? And I'm like, yeah, that's not your job. I said, your job is the environment that you create. I was like, what are you doing to create a loving environment? What are you doing to create a place where he can feel loved? Whether he chooses to or not is up to him.
And that doesn't mean you can't ask for feedback. I would offer a
That's fair.
clarification there. It can't be like, hey, am I creating an environment where you feel loved, where you can feel loved, right? That's more the question. Emphasis on the can.
So we told her, hey, we spend the next week before we meet again focusing on the environment you're creating that you can control and not the outcome. And she did. She came back and she was like, oh my gosh, she was so cool. He came back, he's like, I feel so loved by you. You like, this is amazing. What did you change? And she just changed what she was focusing on. Speaking of outcomes that you can't control, I'm not going to lie, I struggle with this the most. And that's God's business. God's business is everything outside of your business and other people's business. These are things like natural disasters, like hurricanes. When we lived in Florida, hurricanes would come through, and your grandmother would call, and she'd be like, hey, are you guys okay? You see there's a hurricane on the news. I'm like, no, I don't watch it. I just wait for you to call. But no matter how much you stress, you can't change the course of a hurricane. But you can make a go bag. You can plan an evacuation route. You can talk to your spouse and say, okay, what environment do we want to create to keep our kids safe? The other thing is the timing of results, like the blooming of a flower. You can plant the seed. You can till the garden. You can water it. You can fertilize it, but you can't make the seed germinate. You can't make it grow. Can't make it bear fruit. So if you plant a seed and you want apple pie the next day, you're going to be very disappointed. The results are up to God.